plan for his autism and learning disabilities, Mrs. Thatcher was still at number 10. Nearly 35 years later, he's still being held there under lock and key. His whole adult life spent in a place that's now being investigated over its treatment of patients.
Bryan Mccarry in the arms of his mother Josie at a dance in 1970. He had just been diagnosed with a learning disability. His sister remembers well the opinions of doctors back then.
That she would be far better just to put him into an institution and forget about him. And for any mother, that's something devastating that nobody should ever have to be told.
Despite his family's best efforts to care for Bryan at home, he was detained under the Mental Health Act and taken into Mccarry Abbey Hospital at the age of 21. He is now 56 and remains there.
That's my brother's entire adult life. He has spent behind walls under lock and key as if he was some sort of a prisoner.
The trauma has been compounded for Bryan and his family. Behind the locked doors of Mccarry, there are allegations he has been physically abused, along with several other patients here.
It was actually a member of staff who pulled Bryan's trousers and pants down in a common area where there were other people around. We have been informed of approximately, probably in the region of 30 to 40 incidents.
None of the staff have ever been charged in relation to Bryan's abuse allegations, but Mccarry is now the focus for one of the largest investigations into adult safeguarding failures in the history of the NHS.
Our clients have been informed by police about allegations of assaults, of alleged kicks, punches, alleged sexual assaults. We hear repeatedly my son or my daughter was admitted to Mccarry so that he or she could be assessed and we could have a treatment plan and move forward. And 10 years later, no one's heard the outcome of this assessment, and suddenly this individual becomes locked in a system of institutionalisation and being trapped in a manner that they are unable to get back into society. Those people have less rights than those in jail.
Bryan and dozens of others remain locked up in this hospital, despite it being at the heart of a public inquiry facing multiple allegations of abuse, because somehow this place is still deemed to be better than the few alternatives. ITV News has seen evidence that Bryan was cleared to return to society 25 years ago, yet he is still there, sometimes sedated.
He's not getting any active treatment, and the only reason that he's still there is because there's no facility for him to go to in the community.
So he stays there, languishing?
So he stays there, languishing, yes, languishing. And all these incidents and abuse happening to him, and nobody seems to care.
The future of Mccarry is under review. Families and even some of the staff we've spoken to want to see it shut down. But they also know closing the building will not fix the system that continues to fail the most vulnerable people in our society.
Peter, a heartbreaking story there. What have health bosses said in response?
Well, we've had a reply from the Northern Trust who say that given the ongoing public inquiry it would not be appropriate to comment. The Belfast Trust say that they have and continue to apologise to Bryan and his family. They say that they have now identified a purpose-built future home for Bryan to move into, but from speaking to Bryan's family, they still have some serious concerns about this and whether the alternative accommodation would be suitable, and that's why Bryan is still languishing there. This gets to the very core of the problem that we're talking about. We're seeing in our investigations we've seen previously with Adam, Hayden, a 10-year-old boy, decades of underinvestment in proper care for people with learning disabilities and autism has meant they've been neglected, and instead they're left languishing for decades in these institutions with no way out.
Peter Smith, thank you.